day to celebrate and cherish, to congratulate one another, and to share with friends and family. And for the Institute, it is a day of honor and commemoration of the transformation from student to graduate. Today is Commencement Day at Georgia Tech. Georgia, as we get ready for our final institutional commencement ceremony of the weekend. My name is Bryce Zimmerman, and I'm a part of the Institute Communications Department here at Georgia Tech, and we are so glad to have you with us. Are our graduates ready? All right, that's not loud enough. Are our graduates ready this morning? That's right, we've got thousands of master's graduates who will be crossing the stages in their college ceremonies a little bit later on. For this ceremony, we're proud to represent Georgia Tech. Now, we want you to be a part of today, and that means sharing your photos. There are two hashtags that you can use on official Georgia Tech social media. That's hashtag GT26 and hashtag RamblinOn. It is a family moment. We want you to share those photos, get around campus, take some of those fantastic images, share them with us on social so we can put them out there and celebrate today. Well, we know that this has been a very challenging journey. In fact, there are many words that you can use for Georgia Tech students: challenging, arduous at times, sometimes long, but also rewarding. But there's one word that is not in our vocabulary, and that is impossible.
To explore the unknown, to sculpt the skylines, to map the human mind, and propel humanity to the edges of Earth. At Georgia Tech, we are determined to forge a better tomorrow because the world is counting on us. Yet possible. It's not just a challenge, it's a calling.
No, we just pulled Mireya from the audience today. Tell us a little bit about who you are, what your degree is, and what you're excited about today.
Yeah, my name is Mireya Ramirez. I am graduating with a master's in Earth and Atmospheric Sciences, representing all 6 of us here today. I am involved with the Residence Hall Association National Residence Hall Honorary, and I actually got this stole for being a resident assistant in both my master's and bachelor's for the past 3 years. I am going to Columbia University for my PhD after this, so I'm so excited, and I'm just so happy to be here. I'm so happy to support the freshmen, undergrads, and all the graduate students in my time as a teaching assistant, resident assistant, and just in my time at Georgia Tech.
One of the reasons why we pulled Mireya is because we wanted to show you that lots of students are going to be wearing different regalia today, and what you have on is your stole, which is a certain color. Each college will have their own color, but you also have a couple of stoles, so tell us about what you've got on with your regalia.
Yeah, so I have my stole representing my time as a resident assistant for the past 7 semesters. I also wanted to represent the 7% of grad students that are Latino and Hispanic here at Georgia Tech. So I have my Boricua and my Mexican heritage proudly displayed because I want to represent all my ancestors that helped me get here.
All right, anybody that you want to say hi to out there, shout out time.
I would love to shout out all my 6 EAS fellow master students as well as my mom and dad. Hi, Papa. Hi, Mama.
All right, we've already off to a great start. Great energy here from Mireya on Commencement Live. And you know what? She is going to join a group, if she's not already, because we do have many double jackets, a group of prestigious alumni here at Georgia Tech. And we have a message from our Alumni Association. the Ramblin' Wreck, and we've got mechanical engineer Lucas McCarty here, our third Georgia Tech icon. And Lucas, you have had a fantastic career here at Georgia Tech. You're a double jacket, but what I love about what you've done here on campus is BattleBots. You fight robots. Tell me about this.
We do. Ever since my freshman year, I've been involved in our wonderful BattleBots program here at Georgia Tech. Since my sophomore year, called Anxiety. Since that time, we've been to 3 NHRL 30-pound World Championships. We were the first Georgia Tech team to qualify for an NHRL 30-pound World Championship. And yeah, we've had a phenomenal run.
I got to know, how long does it take to build a robot that can fight another robot?
We start designing in the summer, and then once we're through a couple of design reviews that we do with our peers and other teams, we start building throughout the fall, and then sometime in the spring we'll end up competing. And we also iterate, so over the years we'll do another design cycle, compete again, do another design cycle, compete again.
What weapon works the best against other robots? I would go with a saw if it were me.
Well, usually a lot of the robots out there are spinner type weapons, so you'll have like a large blade. You see a lot of robots flying in the air because of those. But we are a horizontal spinner, so we really love.
It's a horizontal spinner, the one that you have now.
Yes, we're an undercutter, so our blade sits very close to the ground, and it's meant to kind of take out your opponent's drive system.
That's fantastic. I love all the thought that goes into having robots hurt one another. Okay, another part of your career here at Georgia Tech, you were a part of the German club. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
Absolutely. So I'm a dual citizen, U.S. and Germany. So I guess being a global citizen is very important to me. And as soon as I came on campus and found out that we have a German club here, I knew I had to get involved. My freshman year, I started with leadership as vice president, and then was president of the organization from, I guess, my sophomore year through this past year. And it's been a phenomenal experience. We've gotten to, I guess, really provide a space for, I guess, international students to come here and feel at home and get to speak their native language, as well as for students here to learn about German culture, learn about German language, and yeah, we've had a lot of fun.
And one of the reasons I know that you got into mechanical engineering was to help your brother. Can you tell us about that inspiration?
Absolutely. He's here today, so Joshua, wherever you are, thanks for being here. Love you. He's an inspiration to me every day. He's wheelchair bound due to cerebral palsy, but despite the challenges that he faces every day, he always rises up and overcomes them. And yeah, I saw that the impact that technologies like his electric wheelchair, our like ramped minivan that has like a hydraulic lift, and a number of other things that we have in our house, they make a huge impact in his everyday life and our everyday lives. And so I was inspired by those contributions from other engineers, and I wanted to make an impact with my engineering career.
So you already had to shout out your brother. Who else is out there supporting you today?
Absolutely. Love to say, shout out to my friends out in the audience, AJ, Evan, Dennis, of course, and to my family who supported me the last 5 years. Couldn't have done it without you. Thank you very much. And, of course, Buzz, the greatest mascot on the planet.
That's absolutely, and a national champion. Buzz is a national champion mascot. Lucas, thank you so much for joining us. You know, our students, we've got a German and American citizen here, but they also travel the world, including Taylor Sherwood, who a few years ago went on 2 trips of a lifetime in the same calendar year.
There were multiple times during the expedition where we did some double takes and had some reality moments where it kind of dawned on us like where actually we were and like what kind of an experience we were having. Definitely some moments where you're sitting there and you feel alone, but you don't at the same time. You're with your team, but there's nothing else for miles around you except for just barren wasteland and ice and rock and water. It can be really peaceful, but it can be really daunting at times as well.
You get a chance to see some things that very few people see. And I think one of the things that's kind of unique about Antarctica is the wildlife. There are just thousands upon thousands of penguins. You hope that they take this and say, this is one of the highlights of my life, one of the unique experiences that I take away from tech. And sometimes we talk about the Orchid program is actually a leadership program disguised as an outdoor recreation program.
We talk a lot here at Origin about type 1 and type 2 fun. So type 1 is you're having fun in the moment, you know you're having fun. Type 2 is more, maybe you don't feel like you're having fun, but when you look back on it, you realize you did have fun. There were definitely a lot of type 2 moments.
You can't go in the places we go without occasionally running into some very difficult circumstances. When you're in an amazing place like Greenland or Antarctica, you want to share it with somebody. And tech students are unique. They're incredibly bright, they're fast learners, and they like a challenge.
The same year, and I know you've been heavily involved with Orgit, which not everybody is going to be familiar with, so give us a little bit of information about Orgit and why that was so important to you.
Yeah, of course. So Orgit is outdoor recreation, Georgia Tech. I know we've got a lot of Orgiteers here in the audience today, so super excited for that. We're part of the CRC, so the Campus Recreation Center, and we take trips out for students for a variety of different outdoor trips and activities, different sports on the weekends. Then we also get the opportunity to do some pretty incredible expeditions throughout the year as well.
And the year that you went to Greenland and Antarctica, you weren't done traveling. You went everywhere.
Yeah, it was a great year. So I actually had the opportunity to study abroad 5 times here at Georgia Tech, in addition to kind of the international experiences through Orgit. And I ended up going to all 7 continents in 1 year, which was amazing, and super grateful for Georgia Tech and those opportunities.
And you're not done traveling. What time's your flight tonight, and where are you going?
So I've got a flight at 10 p.m. tonight. Some friends and I, we're headed over to Kazakhstan to do some hiking for the next week. So looking forward to that.
All right, Taylor, what's next for you in your career?
Yeah, so I will be starting to work for a civil engineering company. I'm going to be working on transit and rail projects upcoming in September I start. So got a couple more travels planned, and then we'll start doing some real work.
You've got some folks here I know supporting you, probably people all around the world at this point that are watching online. Who do you want to say hi to?
Yeah, I just want to say hi to my parents, my mom and dad, and then my siblings and brother-in-law. Thank you guys so much for all your love and support. I couldn't have done this without you.
All right, thank you so much, Taylor, for joining us. We're going to send him back to his seat, and we're going to bring in our next student, who is Shalia Harris, who's been a student athlete here at Georgia Tech. We're just switch you out like a line change in hockey. And Shalia, you are quite literally one of the fastest women that's ever ran at Georgia Tech, part of the Georgia Tech track team. Tell us about why you came to Georgia Tech, why you chose to be a part of this track team in this athletic department.
For me, I was looking for balance. So I wanted to excel both as an athlete, but also academically in order to enable my Tech was one of those unique programs that let me come excel both academically in the classroom and hop onto the track and do exactly the same thing when I compete.
You're being so humble. Third fastest time, 100-meter dash for Georgia Tech all time. Third fastest time, 60 meters all time, Shalia Harris. But it's not just on the track that you excel. Tell me a little bit about Pop Sign and what that is and why you wanted to get involved with helping the parents of deaf children.
Yeah, so my work with Thad Starner is Pop Sign, which is an app that helps teach parents of deaf children American Sign Language. So 95% of deaf children are born without, hearing parents. So we're providing this tool to help address some of the issues that we have lingering around with that.
And you're not done going to school. You want more. What's next for you?
Well, I'm going to graduate today, and in 2 weeks, I'm starting my PhD in the HCC program here at Georgia Tech. So I'm going for triple jacket.
Triple jacket. We love a good triple jacket. You got your third all-time fastest speed, triple jacket. Your resume is going to look really good when you're all done here.
Number of 3s.
All right, who do you want to say hi to?
Shout out to the digital media program here at Georgia Tech. Also, thank you for the athletics program here at Georgia Tech, my friend Solstice, and also my family and everyone that's gotten me to this point today.
All right, thank you so much, Shalia. We're going to keep it rotating. We're going to bring in Alec now, another world traveler. And you might be sensing a theme here at Georgia Tech on Commencement Live. We have students that go all over the world. I think you just flew in like a day or two ago, right?
Yeah, I flew in from the Metz campus in France about 4 days ago. And before that, I spent 3 semesters at the Georgia Tech Shenzhen campus.
What we're doing was the Georgia Tech Exponential Rocketry Club, which you all have some of the best videos on social media.
Yeah, that was a ton of fun as part of GTXR because I did my bachelor's in aerospace engineering in it was the summer of 2022. I was actually at the Limerick campus in Ireland, and then I had to fly back because we were doing our launch in the Mojave Desert.
Tell me about this Mojave Desert launch, because I remember hearing about it and thinking, that is so cool that we've got Georgia Tech students going out to the Mojave and sending up rockets.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough, firstly, to get out there, just to drive for hours and hours out to just the absolute middle of nowhere, because, I mean, it's a massive safety concern when you're launching the rockets. And we did launch. I can't remember the max apogee that we had. I do remember that it dug itself about 20 feet down, like into the dirt, maybe like a mile out. But that was still a ton of experience, and also a ton of fun.
So not just a guy that plays with rockets, not just a guy that travels, but you're also a pilot.
Yes, so I started working on my pilot license while I was at CU Boulder. I transferred to Georgia Tech, and I really wanted to continue, so I joined like the Yellow Jackets Flying Club, and that was actually done almost entirely in Atlanta. It was the Fulton County Regional Airport, which is right over here, so I've flown over Georgia Tech plenty of times.
And what's your favorite view from up top in Atlanta?
Oh, I want to say, actually seeing Tech Green, I think is probably the most fun, because it's such a different view versus just seeing like the city skyline.
All right, who do you want to say hi to out there across the world and in the stands?
I want to say hi to all my friends that are here with me, all the friends that I made from Shenzhen, my family in the stands here tonight, all the friends that I've made either from GTXR, the Flying Club, and all my study abroad experiences.
So Georgia Tech, we send students around the world, but the world is actually coming to Atlanta. In fact, the World Cup will be here this summer, and you might not know this, but you could stay at Georgia Tech. You are another double jacket, sensing the theme here, graduating with an ECE degree. And I want to know, from your perspective, what was the difference between undergrad and graduate work here at Georgia Tech and ECE?
Let's see. My graduate courses were much more intensive and research-based, but that's what I love. I got the freedom to pick between topics for my courses and do like 8-page.
And from your undergrad time, what's one of your favorite memories?
One of my favorite memories is actually doing CreateX. I really like the CreateX program at Georgia Tech. It helped me go build a product end to end, as well as learn customer discovery. And it continued through my master's program as well, because EC had this class called Tech Entrepreneurship, where I really got to strengthen my speaking as well as abilities to talk to customers.
And you were also in a leadership position with WECE. So tell us a little bit about that as the president, some of the initiatives that you had.
Yeah, so I can talk a little bit about my journey at WECE. I started off as a freshman, and I knew that I wanted to serve as leadership here. And I helped increase membership for the meetings, as well as led a bunch of volunteer events, and made sure that we had a really fun, strong community.
You mentioned Startup Exchange a little bit earlier. What makes Georgia Tech, we're trying to become the hub of entrepreneurship in the Southeast and really on the entire Eastern Seaboard. So what can make Georgia Tech that place in your mind?
I think we are definitely getting there. There's already YC, there's A16Z, these programs, and Georgia Tech grads are slowly but surely catching up and becoming more and more founders through programs like Startup Exchange, CreateX. It really teaches you how to build a startup from end to end, as well as provide funding. So it's like, what more can you ask for while you're still in college?
All right, shout out time. Who's out there?
I want to thank all the ECE grads, my parents and my family everywhere on the world, and my roommates and all my friends. I couldn't have done it without you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us, Shreyashi. We're going to bring in Empress now. So again, we got the rotation going. We're getting the students here on Commencement Live. This is Empress Henry Logan, who is graduating with a master's in city planning. You've already got some fans out here. And what I really want to talk to you about, and what drew our attention, we're like, we have to talk to Empress, is this initiative that you started for Black students interested in city planning across the city of Atlanta.
Yeah, so I'm an Atlanta native. Shout out all of our 404 people. Woo, woo! So yeah, it was really important to me that our city planners, architects, policymakers, and real estate people inside of Georgia Tech felt the warm embrace that I've always felt from Atlanta. And who better to do that than the mayor?
The Mayor Dickens, who's also a Yellow Jacket,
also
right?
a Yellow Jacket.
And you had the opportunity to introduce him, so that must have been really cool.
Yeah, It was really nice. When I'm thinking about the impact that I want to make on Atlanta, it's just really imperative to me that people feel the community, and that's something that it's kind of bittersweet that I'm leaving Georgia Tech in Atlanta because the community that I've made here is really special to me, and I'm just really excited to see that continue in the future.
You're talking about the community here in Atlanta. You went to undergrad at Kentucky. Why come back? Why come back to Atlanta? Why Georgia Tech?
This is the best city, don't you agree?
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I'm a little biased, but I loved my time at Kentucky. It really taught me how to see cities different. It's very bucolic there as opposed to Atlanta, a more urban space. So yeah, it was only right for me to continue learning about cities in the best city.
All right, we already heard some cheers, but I know there's some other people you'd like to shout out.
Oh yeah, I want to shout out the Logans, my mom and dad, my best friend, Cam, my brothers, Donovan, Bryson, and Zion, and Nadia, and my grandparents, Nan and Papa. Hi.
I love the shout outs, one of my favorite parts. Okay, we're getting closer and closer to the start of the ceremony. We're going to introduce you to a few more students. Let's meet Cayetana Rodriguez.
Myself, it was definitely a challenge and a bit stressful at the beginning, but I think the learning and the growth that came out of that experience and having to move to a different country by myself very early on gave me a lot of maturity and independence that has also helped me in my studies. I'm Cayetana Rodriguez, and I'm originally from Madrid, Spain. I'm graduating with my master's in aerospace engineering, and I also completed my bachelor's 2 years ago. So specifically, I work on game theory for control, which is using the social science field of game theory now applied to the way that systems interact. We're living at a time where all these autonomous systems are being deployed in the world. And so I really get to see the impact of what I'm working on. And it's sort of the best time to gain a lot of expertise in this area because it's still very new and there's a lot of research to be done. Design, Build, Fly is an organization part of the Aerospace Engineering School where we design, build, and fly remote control aircraft for international competition. So I joined Design, Build, Fly my first year at Georgia Tech. I had no experience whatsoever in aerospace, so it was the place that really gave me my first experience and sort of affirmed that I was in the right place. I've been able to meet some of the best aerospace students that are now working at all the companies that you can think of, and overall find a group of people that was really passionate, really driven, and really changed my experience completely at Georgia Tech.
Person right next to the Ramblin' Wreck. Thank you so much for joining us, Cayetana. You were the president of, let me get this right, Design, Build, Fly, a club here at Georgia Tech, which does some really cool stuff.
Yeah, so we design, build, and fly remote control aircraft. And every year we participate in 3 different international competitions. And so I came in as a freshman with no experience whatsoever in aerospace engineering. And then you just brought me to the fire right away and started building aircraft. And it was a great experience. It was one of my highlights of my undergrad experience, and really what corroborated that aerospace was the right place for me.
There's so many different ways that you can go in the aerospace industry. You can go to space, you can do commercial flight, you can work on jet propulsion. Yeah. What are some of the areas that drew you to it? Because it sounds like maybe you didn't really know when you got here as a freshman, but you're all in it now.
Yeah, so in high school, I was more interested in astronomy, and I really liked outer space, and I thought aircraft were cool too. So when it came to choosing engineering, it had math, physics, computer science, which is everything that I liked. And then I thought aerospace was one of the coolest applications and ways to apply all the sciences.
So you are a double jacket. What are some of the things, not academic related, that you really think you're going to remember and love about your time at Tech?
I think the community here, I've met people from all over the world, and it's just such a great experience in a way that you open your mind to just different cultures and different ideas, and that's just been the highlight outside of academics at Georgia Tech.
All right, shout out time. Who do you want to say hi to, Cayetana?
My aunt and uncle, Maribel y Josele, who are here, came all the way from Spain. All my family who's watching in Europe, and all my friends who also woke up early to come here today. Muchas gracias, un beso.
Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to switch out Cayetana here for Nora, who's going to jump in real quick. So we do our line change. Welcome in, Nora. Thank you so much for joining us. It is a tall chair. I know. We'll get shorter ones next time. Yeah, just spin back around. There you go. Okay, so you are graduating with an analytics degree, and we talk a lot here at Georgia Tech about non-traditional or lifelong learning, and that has kind of been the story for you. You work full-time, you've got a family, but still were able to make time for this degree.
Yes, that's correct. It's been a very difficult journey, resource that kept me pushing forward.
All right, we're running low on time, so I want to give you opportunity to say hi to whoever you want to out there. Maybe one of those people that said that you weren't college material a long time ago.
Early in my college career, I was told I was not able to continue in my career because I struggled with my first classes, but I was able to commit, push forward. I had 2 bachelor's degrees, now finishing my master's. I was able to travel the world thanks to this career. I went to France, China, Mexico. So thank you very much for everything, and just don't let doubt define you. Keep pushing, because if we are determined, I know it works. I'm here, so just do the best you can.
Thank you very much, Nora. We're going to switch you out here for our final student. So our last one, Sindhu's going to come in here. His commencement live is about to end, and the ceremony is going to begin here in just a moment. Sindhu, another aerospace engineer, thank you so much for joining us. You unfortunately lost one of your friends, and that kind of affected your career here at Georgia Tech, but ultimately it proved to be something that you could build a positive out of.
Yes, absolutely, Bryce. I lost my best friend 2 weeks before I started classes here at Tech, and moving to a new city, with really overwhelming and sad, but thank you to the people of my lab, my family, my friends, the people that I met here at Tech who supported me and who built a community where I could not just survive, but thrive.
All right, we have one more question for you, and then we got to go quickly, but I know you participated in the American Grad Student Association. Why were those things important for you?
They were important for me because I believe in service before self. I believe in giving back to my community, and I'm actually incredibly proud to be wearing the AIAA stole right there. So thank you to all of my colleagues at AIAA and AGSA for creating an environment where we could support other students.
Very quickly, who do you want to say hi to?
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. To all of the aerospace engineers I'm graduating with, go Jackets. And thank you to my family from back in Qatar and also India, and also all the staff here at Georgia Tech who have made my time super memorable. Thank you.
All right, Sindhu, go ahead and head out. You are going to head back to your seat, and it is now time to begin commencement. For those who have worn the white and gold, the brave and bold, we salute you. Congratulations and welcome to your master's ceremony at Georgia Tech.
Welcome to Georgia Tech Commencement. Students, please rise for the faculty processional.
Good morning and welcome. Buenos dias, bienvenidos. Please rise and remain standing for the singing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Please be seated. My name is Angel Cabrera, and I have the privilege of serving as Georgia Tech's president. Before we get started today, I'd like for us to take a moment to recognize all veterans, active duty members, and first responders. So if you have served or currently serve in any branch of the U.S. military or as a first responder, please rise so we can recognize you for your service. Thank you so much. So graduates, members of the faculty and staff, distinguished guests and families, friends, my heart is full as I welcome you to the 270th commencement exercises at Georgia Tech. It is a true pleasure to be together in celebration of these graduates and their academic achievements. We have a few special messages for you today. The first one is from one of our graduating students, and I am pleased to introduce Dia Patel, a master's degree candidate in analytics, who also has an undergraduate degree from Georgia Tech, and who will give the student reflection.
Good morning, and welcome, friends, family, faculty, and most importantly, the class of 2026. You finally made it here. Your hard work, the support of your friends and family, and the guidance from our faculty members all contribute to this moment. And I think that's worth saying out loud, because getting here was never simple for this class. But maybe that's exactly how it was supposed to be. I didn't always believe in that so strongly. If you had asked me a year ago, I would have told you how frustrated I was to be straying away from the rigid life plan I had set for myself. But a recent experience at Georgia Tech changed that for me. There's a special Georgia Tech alumnus in the audience, Admiral James Sandy Winnefeld. Back in February, I had the honor of introducing him at the Gold and White Honors Gala. Sandy shared something with me that I haven't forgotten since. He said, "Among the most successful people I have ever worked for were people who strayed from the cookie-cutter path." This statement encapsulates the story of our master's class. Our class faced some unique challenges that forced a lot of us to stray from our original plans. When universities lost federal research funding last year, many of us had to stop working on the causes we are so passionate about. Others in our class have traveled across oceans and left loved ones behind to pursue this degree. Some of our peers had full-time jobs while trying to shoot for something bigger. Some even continued to serve our country while doing that. Many students like myself never planned on getting a master's degree, but decided to change their plans for a variety of reasons. Despite the challenges, we found ways to make things work on our own terms, not on the cookie-cutter path, all while going through some of the toughest graduate programs in this country. I know people who have found a way to fund the research they care so much about. I know someone who attended classes at Georgia Tech while figuring out a long-distance marriage across the world. I know many people who worked a 9-to-5, but also used their coursework to create a new career trajectory after business hours. I know a Marine who continued to serve our country while taking classes online. And I know many people who never planned on a master's program straight out of undergrad, but who have opened up so many more opportunities because of it. In many ways, we are a class that has strayed off the cookie-cutter path. According to Sandy, this has only expanded our horizons for success. And today, we get to celebrate that accomplishment. So here's to the class of 2026, a class of some of the most successful people I will ever know who have strayed from the cookie-cutter path. Congratulations, class of 2026.
Enjoy your day. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dia. So, graduates, today you will be joining the impressive family of Georgia Tech alumni. This is a community of leaders, innovators, thinkers, doers who are making a difference all over our state, around our country, really all over the world. Many of them are here today to celebrate your success. Perhaps no one better than an alum to understand what it took you to get your own Georgia Tech degree. And I would also like to recognize every alum in the audience today. Please stand up so we can recognize you. I love it. Love those family legacies going strong, and I love repeat customers. This is a good sign. Just love it. Now, to welcome you formally into the Fellowship of Georgia Tech Alumni, I'm pleased to introduce my friend Dean Sheehan, a management graduate from the class of 1991 and the president of the Georgia Tech Alumni Association. Dean?
Thank you, President Cabrera, and good morning, graduates. You did it. Congratulations. And what a special place to celebrate, right? Historic Bobby Dodd Stadium. Very awesome. So proud of each of you and happy to be here with you today. Hey, as a fellow Yellow Jacket, I say it gives me great pride to say to you graduates, welcome to one of the most powerful and coveted networks in the entire world, in my opinion, and that's the Georgia Tech Alumni Association. You are now alumni, and you're joining more than 227,000 fellow Yellow Jackets across the globe, no matter where you may go. Now, for me, growing up in Georgia, you hear a lot of sayings. And one of those that I recall from my parents was this: the dictionary is the only place where success comes before work. Now, I got to Georgia Tech and I knew exactly what they meant by that statement. And I know graduates that you do as well. And I think of the hard work that you put into earning your degree. It is a degree, again, that is highly regarded across the globe. It's now yours, and I share in your pride of that great accomplishment. Now, while we as Yellow Jackets are unique as individuals, we do share some common traits from our time at Tech. So I suggest to you, what do we share? We share this skill to problem find, problem solve, and then also, of course, to persevere. We all know that very well. And when we work together to take on life's biggest challenges, we can. When we set out to change the world, we do. And when we join together to make a difference, we will. Now, one of the biggest ways that you can make a difference is through roll call. For 80 years, the Georgia Tech Fund for Excellence has positively influenced both current and future students. Now, you may notice graduates who are wearing a roll call pin today on their regalia. And Dia, I want to thank you because you're one of them. And I saw your pin. We appreciate those students who have already given to roll call because you're supporting the students who are going to come behind you, as well as our Transforming Tomorrow campaign. Now, what else do we share? We share the value at Georgia Tech of community. And no matter where you go, you're going to find Yellow Jackets again who are ready to open doors for you across the globe. I feel like the only thing more powerful than this impressive degree that you've earned are the relationships that you're going to be taking with you. And we encourage you to get involved with the Alumni Association. That's where we're going to help you with everything from job leads, networking opportunities. We'll have events right back here on campus as well as across the globe wherever you are. And as well as you'll develop some future friendships. I'm confident of that. So just know from our side, Georgia Tech will always be your home. You're now part of what I call, by the way, the permanent constituency, and that's a precious thing. So we say to you, the Alumni Association is here with you for a lifetime. Welcome to the alumni family, and as always, go Jackets!
Thank you, Dean. As you graduate from Georgia Tech today, if you find yourself having withdrawals because you don't have a new paper to read or study, I'm here to help you. You know that last year we launched the College of Lifetime Learning. And we launched it with all we had learned over a decade of offering online masters and other non-degree programs. We've learned that people need to learn and grow in their careers, no matter where they are, to keep adapting and upskilling and getting the best opportunities. So we decided to create a new program, which is, think of it as a subscription model. I proposed to call it Netflix for Nerds. The marketing department didn't quite like that. So they proposed the actual name is going to be Georgia Tech Infinity. But it's a place for you to go and take that class that you didn't have a chance to take, to learn that part of your job that you need to do better. And the College of Lifetime Learning this weekend has announced that you all will get a free one-year subscription to this platform. So enjoy it. I mean, I think part of for it being free is that you're the beta tester. So you're going to have to tell us how it works. But no, seriously, this is a big deal for Georgia Tech, and I look forward to your feedback. Now, think about it. This weekend, we've celebrated the graduation of over 7,000 new Georgia Tech alums. It includes more than 3,000 bachelor's degrees. Today, we were celebrating over 3,700 new master's degrees. A couple of days ago, we also awarded 226 PhDs. The candidates that we're celebrating today that are represented right here at Bobby Dodd, they come from every corner of our state. They represent every state in the union and 55 countries around the world. And when I think about the talent that is here together today, I am quite impressed. If you think about it, this group of people right here together, they know how to build satellites and robots. They know how to build bridges and construct new medical devices. They can create and run businesses. They can shape better policy. They know chemistry, biology, psychology. They can mine intelligence from complex data. They're masters of AI. They understand how markets work, how governments work, what history teaches us about our future. These people live and travel all over the world. They can communicate in dozens of languages. They've learned to listen to others, to respect what others have to say, even when they disagree, especially when they disagree. They have learned to work with and learn from people who are different from themselves. They're confident, capable, creative problem solvers. They have learned the power of collaboration. They have been empowered to lead, and for all those reasons, they make me extremely hopeful about our future. But for all of that potential to make a difference, there is something that I want all of you to remember. And I put it right behind me so you have no excuse not to remember. And that is those two words in our shield: progress and service. These two words define us as a community. They signify our belief in the power of innovation and ingenuity to serve a greater purpose, to improve the human condition. We don't believe in technology for its own sake, but because of its potential to help people live better lives. I know many of you are doing very well in your current careers. Others will find new companies. Some of you are setting up or already have set up your own startup. Some of you are bound to continuing your education, maybe start careers in academia or in government. Wherever you go, I know that you're going to do well. But remember that your true success will not be measured by how much money you make, but by the value that you create for others. And I need to make it clear, money you will make. Some of you, a lot of it. I already know that. And when you're rich and famous, my friend Dean here, he knows where you live. We have all your data. We'll come find you. I'll fly. I'll come visit you with a picture of a beautiful building, maybe there in the skyline, where your name can go there in big, big, big letters. So I obviously want you to be very successful. But seriously, at the end of the journey, what will make you proud, what will make your family, all of us, and yourself proud is what you did to lift others up, to make a difference in our world. No pressure, but as we like to see around here, we can do that, and I know that you will. Today we celebrate your accomplishments, your potential. I'd like to thank you in advance for all the great things you're going to do. Now I know that joining us today in the cold, risking the rain, although I've ordered a dry day, you're welcome. These are folks who care deeply about you. You know it very, very well. Some of them following online. These are people without whom you would not be here today. And for that, I want to say on behalf of all of our graduates, thank you. Thank you for what you've done to support our graduates today. I'm also very grateful for the staff, the faculty who have made your learning possible. I have a few of them behind me. I'm going to introduce them to you, but we have many, many more. And this place is what it is because of their dedication. So please hold your applause as they stand when I call their names. We have Tim Lewin, Executive Vice President for Research. You guys were not paying attention. Fine, it's a free country, do what you please. Teresa Chastain, Executive Vice President of Administration and Finance. Bill Gaudelli, Dean of College of Lifetime Learning. You have to thank him for the Georgia Tech Infinity. David Joyner, Associate Dean of College of Computing. And a rock star, apparently. Elizabeth Cherry, Associate Dean, College of Computing. Melinda McDaniel, Associate Chair, College of Computing. Alasdair Young, Associate Dean, Ivan Allen of College of Liberal Arts. Javier Irizarry, Associate Dean, College of Design. Manpreet Hora, Senior Associate Dean, Scheller College of Business. Bolly Deng, Assistant Professor, College of Engineering. Leslie Sharp, Dean of Libraries. Larry Jacobs, Executive Vice Provost for Education and Learning. Michelle Reinhardt, Vice Provost for Faculty. Tong Su, Associate Vice Provost for International Programs. James Black, Executive Director of Graduate Student Success. Our Dean of Students, John Stein. Abigail Tampi, Vice President of Communications. Danette Jocelyn Gall, our Chief General Counsel. And Sky Duckett, our Vice President of Chief Human Resources. You can applaud because this is one of the best teams in American higher education right here behind me. Thank you so much. I guess I missed some people. I love all of you, even if I miss your name. I know, I know some of you may not believe this, and I'm going to reveal this to you. We're fully aware of what we did to you over the past couple of years. There is a method to this madness. And even though you may not believe it today, I know for a fact that in a couple of years you'll look back and you will be thanking us for it. But seriously, we know what you have done, and we are impressed, we admire you, and we congratulate you. Many of us know it very personally because we went through it ourselves. I myself played different roles at Georgia Tech. I've been a student, an alum, a parent, an advisor. Now I serve as president. I even found my wife, Beth, here, who is with us today. So I know very well that being a Yellow Jacket is something very special. Georgia Tech diploma is something you will treasure for the rest of your life. It will be transformative, like it has been for generations of Yellow Jackets. I can tell you with confidence that nothing that has happened in my life, nothing that I have accomplished or that have happened in my personal life would have happened without Georgia Tech, what I learned here, the people that I met here. So now it's your turn. You are forever connected to this great institution, and I cannot wait to see the great things you will continue to do. It's time to look ahead, to push forward, to go out and make an impact on the world like only Yellow Jackets can. Congratulations, class of 2026. And for your last Georgia Tech lecture, that is until you sign up for Georgia Tech Infinity, that's become clear, I have a treat for you. I have invited a friend and a business leader that I deeply admire, Tashonda Brown Duckett. Tashonda is the president and chief executive officer of TIAA. That means that she manages my retirement money and the retirement money of most of us. That's why it's a very, very important job, guys. TIAA is a leading provider of secure retirement for millions of people who work in higher education, in healthcare, in government, people who serve all of us. TIAA is one of the largest income retirement security firms in the United States. Under her leadership, TIAA has expanded its mission beyond serving people working in higher education to serving all Americans who are saving for retirement. Before joining TIAA in 2021, she held several key executive roles during a 17-year career at J.P. Morgan Chase, including being the CEO of the Consumer Bank and Auto Finance. She was the first African-American named to the firm's operating committee. Tashonda has been included in the Time 100 Most Influential People. She's named to both the Forbes and Fortune's 100 Most Powerful Women. She's been inducted into the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. One of the things that she's proudest of is that she founded the Otis and Rosie Brown Foundation in honor of her parents to recognize and reward people who use ordinary means to empower and uplift the community in extraordinary ways. We are honored to have Tashonda here with us today. Please join me in welcoming her to the podium. Thank you so much for doing this. Appreciate you.
Good morning. Congratulations to the class of 2026. To the Yellow Jackets, one of the most respected communities of builders, thinkers, innovators, anywhere in the world, it is an honor to stand with you today. And to the families who have supported you, challenged you, and encouraged all of you, could all of you please stand and be recognized? And can you all give your family and friends a real loud round of applause? Graduates, take a moment and look around at who showed up for you, at who walked this path alongside you. This moment belongs to all of you. Now, I have been thinking about what to say to a group like this, because let's be honest, you are not starting from scratch. You already know how to solve hard problems. You already know how to operate in complexity. You already know how to push through uncertainty. That's what a master's degree from Georgia Institute of Technology represents. So instead of talking about how to get ready for the future, I want to talk about something different. I want to talk about what it means to be responsible for the future, because that's what you've stepped into. You are graduating into a moment where artificial intelligence is reshaping entire industries. Scientific discovery is accelerating faster than institutions can keep up. And the biggest challenges we face are increasingly interconnected. And here's the truth. The world does not need more observers of change. The world needs more people who are willing to shape it. Now, I spend a lot of time with leaders across industries, and one thing is clear. The advantage is no longer just technical skills, because technology evolves. What matters and what endures is something deeper. I am talking about judgment. I am talking about character. I am talking about the ability to bring people together to solve problems that don't have clear answers. And that's where leadership lives. So let me be very direct with you. The decisions that you will be asked to make in your careers, they will not come with complete information. They will not come with perfect data. And they will not come with a roadmap. You will be asked to decide anyway. That's what leadership is. And it's what I always say. I rent my title. I own my character. Because titles will change, roles will evolve, industries will transform. But your character, that's the one thing you carry with you in every room, with every decision, and with every moment that matters. And in a world that is increasingly shaped by AI, that responsibility only grows. Because AI will not decide what is fair. It will not decide what is ethical. It will not decide what is worth building or what should never be built. You will. So the question becomes not just what you can create, but what should you create? Not just how fast you can move, but who is affected when you do. Not just how do you optimize a system, but who benefits and who gets left out. At Georgia Tech, you've been trained at the intersection of innovation and impact. This is a place that has built one of the most dynamic innovation ecosystems in the country, from Tech Square to breakthrough research in AI, science, and engineering. And it's guided by a powerful idea that technology should improve the human condition. That's not just a strategy, that's a responsibility. And now, it's yours. Now, I want to shift to something more personal. When I walked into my first job, and when I walk into many rooms, I don't always see people who look like me. And I always have a choice in those moments. I can try to fit into what already existed, or I can bring my full perspective into the room and help shape what comes next. I always choose the latter. It's not always easy, but being the best version of myself is always worth it. And here is what I have learned. Progress does not happen because people are comfortable. Progress happens when people are willing to get uncomfortable to take a leap forward. And each of you have the same choice. You can follow the path that's already been defined, or you can ask, what does this look like if we build it differently? Because the future isn't built in isolation. It is built through collaboration, through partnership, through perspective. And like what I always like to say, it's a we thing. And the best leaders I know, that their job, they understand that their job is not always to just succeed. It is to always bring someone or many others along with them. So as you step into what's next, I want to leave you a few ideas. First, stay intellectually curious. You have a subscription, use it. The shelf life of knowledge has never been shorter. Your willingness to keep learning will be your greatest advantage. Second, get proximate to the people you serve, to the problems you're trying to solve, because you cannot lead what you don't understand. Third, live your life like a diversified portfolio. Invest in your career, but also into your relationships, your health, and your purpose. Please remember, work-life balance is a lie. It's about the integration and making sure you're handling and building a life that can sustain you. And finally, stay accountable, because the systems you build and the decisions you make will shape outcomes for people you have never met. And that brings me to the most important question I can leave with you. Who benefits from your success? Because success that stops with you is incomplete. You have the skills, you have the education, and you have the platform. Now you have the opportunity to lead in a way that does not only drive innovation, but expands who that innovation serves. So to the class of 2026, go build what does not yet exist. Go solve problems that matter. Go lead in moments where others hesitate. And most importantly, go shape a future that more people can see themselves in. Rent your title, own your character. Congratulations, Georgia Tech, class of 2026. I cannot wait to see what you will build and who you will impact next. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was a wonderful, wonderful speech. Now, let's get on to business. I'm pleased to introduce Provost Rahim Villa, who will introduce the academic deans by college. The deans will present the degree candidates in turn.
All right, here we go. Good morning. Y'all ready? All right. Dean Vivek Sarkar will present the candidates for master's degrees in the College of Computing.
Thank you. Candidates for all Master of Science degrees in the College of Computing, please rise and cheer as loudly as you can with all your computing spirit. And let's everyone join in cheering these awesome, awesome graduates. President Cabrera, I have the honor of presenting to you these exceptional candidates for Master of Science degrees who have completed the requirements for these degrees. Our graduates arrive here today by three distinctive pathways: our on-campus master's students, our joint BSMS students who started here as undergrads, and those who completed their degree through our preeminent online Master of Science programs. Three paths, united by the same high standards of rigor, and commitment to progress and service. These graduates are the most innovative, technology-driven, entrepreneurial, socially responsible, and often nocturnal individuals who have demonstrated unparalleled dedication in completing the rigorous requirements of a master's degree from the College of Computing. They will do us proud and change the game in our brave new world of computing and AI.
Dean Amanda Murdy will present the candidates for master's degrees in the Ivan Allen College of Liberal Arts.
Good morning. Candidates for Masters of Science degrees from Ivan Allen College. Per capita, you are the proudest and the loudest graduates on campus. So please rise and cheer. President Cabrera, our Ivan Allen College of Liberal Arts graduates have a rare combination of the humanities and social sciences that is intertwined with technological savviness. They are leaving here today with the Ivan Allen advantage and are prepared to lead businesses, governments, and nonprofits. I am so honored to present them today. Thank you.
Associate Dean Russell Gentry will present the candidates for master's degrees in the College of Design.
Candidates from the small but mighty College of Design, stand up and cheer. President Cabrera, I'm so proud to present these students who will design and build the next world for a challenging time, to plan to make the world a beautiful place filled with music, with art, with buildings that respect our environment, that make a place for everyone in the world, not just those of us who are fortunate. Congratulations.
Dean Anuj Marocha will present the candidates for master's degrees in the Scheller College of Business.
Good morning. Candidates for the master's degrees in the Scheller College of Business, please rise and let's all show our spirit. President Cabrera, I joined the world-class faculty of the Scheller College of Business to present the candidates who will lead innovation in business with technology. These candidates for the master's degrees have been stellar at Scheller and have completed the requirements for these degrees.
Associate Dean Young-Hee Chang will present the candidates for master's degrees in the College of Sciences.
Candidates for Master of Science degrees in the College of Sciences, please stand. What a great day to graduate with a science degree, because when it's the darkest out and when it's the gloomiest out, I challenge you to be the sunshine and the light. And because everyone deserves science, I would like all of you to make noise and cheer for these graduates today. President Cabrera, the College of Sciences is developing leaders and scientific solutions to improve the human condition and to create a better world. Today, I have the honor of presenting to you these candidates for the Master of Science degrees who have completed the requirements for these degrees.
Executive Vice President for Research, Tim Lewin, will present the candidates for master's degrees in the College of Engineering.
Will candidates for the Master of Science degree in the College of Engineering please rise and cheer? President Cabrera, not only is the College of Engineering the largest in the country, it is consistently ranked among the nation's top engineering program with a reputation as a global leader and an innovator. Today, I have the honor of presenting to you those candidates for the Master of Science degrees who have completed the requirements for these degrees.
All right, let's now make this official. I'm going to wait until all of you sit down to ask everybody to stand up for the, that was mean, but it's good for you. Seriously, will all graduates please rise? Upon the recommendation of the faculty of the Georgia Institute of Technology and by authority of the Board of Regents of the University System of Georgia, I now confer upon each of you a degree with all the rights and privileges, responsibilities thereunto appertaining. Graduates, to symbolize your achievement, you may now move the tassel on your motherboard from the right to the left. Please join me in congratulating these impressive new graduates of Georgia Tech. Congratulations. If I may please ask that the graduates remain standing as our President's Party recesses, then I invite all of you to join in the singing of the greatest fight song in the galaxy, the Rambling Wreck. And David Joyner tells me that even the online master students have been appropriately trained into singing the song. I'll be watching you. Better sing it well. Graduates, please remain in your seats until the conclusion of the fight song. Thank you for joining us, and have a wonderful day.
whiskey clear. I'm a rambling wreck from Georgia Tech and a hell of an engineer. Well, if I had a daughter, so I'd dress her in white and gold and put her on the campus to cheer the brave and bold. Well, if I had a son, sir, I'd tell you what he'd do. He would yell to hell with Georgia like his daddy used to do. I wish I had a barrel of rum and sugar 3,000 pounds, a collar's bell to put it in, and clapper to stir it round. I drink to all good fellows who come from far and near. I'm a rambling, gambling, hell of an engineer. Hey! Like all the jolly good fellows, I drink my whiskey clear. I'm a rambling wreck from Georgia Tech and a hell of an engineer. Well, if I had a daughter, sir, I'd dress her in white and gold and put her on the campus to cheer the brave and bold. Well, if I had a son, sir, I'd tell you what he'd do. He would yell to hell with Georgia like his daddy used to do. I wish I had a barrel of rum and sugar 3,000 pounds, a collar's bell to put it in, and clapper to stir it round. I drink to all good fellows who come from far and near. I'm a rambling, gambling, hell of an engineer. Hey!
Go Jackets!
Thank you for attending Georgia Tech's commencement. Families will meet their graduate outside the stadium and proceed to their college ceremonies. College of Commuting graduates and guests are welcome to remain in the stadium. Have a wonderful day.